today, Peter Radke, second fastest in qualifying yesterday with a 102.3, and the leader in the series. And alongside of him on the front row of the grid will be the fastest qualifier in practice yesterday, Dennis Riley, with a 101.8. Now, Riley, from memory, is running third in points, so he'll need to really win it, and basically for Radke and Cashin not to finish today. So it's got a ton of excitement going for it. The Formula V 2UW Series round with Riley with a 101.8, Radke sharing the front row. The second row, Don Grieverson with a 102.4, and Mark Laverick. Then Cashin back on the third row, and sharing the third row with him will be Frank Burke in the Nimbus, 102.5. So there's not a great deal separating the perhaps even the first 12 cars in this final. The distance of the race is 10 laps, and Formula V racing is quite exciting here at AMAROO Park. And here we have them off and running, and you can see the great gaggle of cars as they come up Bitchupave Hill for the first time, absolutely running side by side, flat out as they press the top of Bitchupave for the first time, and we are assured of traffic congestion by the time they reach the right-hander at Dunlop Curve.
Yes, there's the world's fastest traffic jam there. A little bit of touching of wheels in the middle field. I think they're going to get through safely. The first lap at Dunlop is always the difficult part. And Peter Radke, the man we were expecting to do so well, has dropped out right at the start.
That's Bernie Cashin in the lead.
Radke had a win here early today too, so that's bad luck for him, but Cashin might rather be rejoicing. It removes one of the very difficult drivers to get by. Very seasoned campaigner.
Well, Cashin, of course, is running second in points, and with Radke out, he was the series leader. So if he can keep the pressure off him, and that's going to be an impossibility there in a Formula V race, he could well go on to win the overall series for the season here at AMAROO Park. And then you can see the slight lead that he has established. He certainly won't hold that to the finish, because Formula V's have a great habit of having at least 3 or 4 leader changes, and here comes the first. This time going up the top, we're going to have 3 or 2 drivers attack the leader here, going over the top and heading down to the right hand of Dunlop.
They come over, I think, with Dennis Riley in front, and on the outside of him is car 18, Mark Laverick.
Making a very difficult manoeuvre there. In fact, it's cost him a bit of ground. He's dropped back a few places. He fell back behind Frank Burke as well in the little Aurora car.
So Bernie Cashin has managed to hold down second, but it's now Dennis Riley in front.
Oh, he opened up a bit of a gap there for Cashin to accept. Cashin preferred to follow the same line, though, and they're through the bend again. In third place, car 31, Frank Burke, who's moved up even more, and he's got ahead of Mark Laverick in the Renax. They're leading 4 at the moment.
Not a great deal between the first 10 cars. In fact, you could throw a blanket over the 10 of them. And there you can see number 20. Laverick, who has closed right up behind the leader. He's not going to let him get too far out of sight. Probably make an attack here on the inside, which he does, going into the Rothmans control tower after they come up Shell Straight. Now this time up Bitchupave Hill, and again we could see a leader change as they go over the top and now down towards the right-hander at Dunlop.
Frank Burke is worth watching. Car 31 on the left there with the striped nose. He's got through in the second place. He accepted the right with a great bit of lead that Cashin offered him. When he broke through, he opened the gap, and Burke went straight through. Thank you very much, he must have said. The field sorting itself out in a real high-speed shuffle behind them. And it'll be Burke in second spot, behind Cashin. And here's Riley trying to see if he can make some impression, but the inside line is not the way to go around Honda. So he decides to accept the conventional line, and the whole field is pouring around, as you can see.
Let's put Laverick back in front, and he's handling that well at the moment, but he's going to be under siege this time at Rothmans, the right-hander. And he squirts through there quite well, still holds, I wouldn't know, you couldn't really estimate the slight lead that he had coming out of that particular corner. We'll wait and see if he's about to be challenged, though, this time up Shell Straight and heading up towards Bitchupave Hill.
It's Cashin, Burke and Riley in that order at the moment. Laverick is back just behind him. And Grieverson is running in 5th place. About the last of the group, they're making a very serious challenge for the lead, although there are a lot of cars very close, as you can see. Cashin in 20, Burke on the inside there. A bit of an assault on his position on the outside, which is a very difficult line being undertaken by Dennis Riley. Riley's car going through then number 45, distinguished by the high tower behind the driver's head.
A little tussle there between Riley and Burke has allowed Cashin to open up a little break. And he'd be feeling on reasonable terms with himself at the moment. Lead of about 35, 40 metres.
It's Burke, Cash and Laverick in that order, and Graham Benson has now moved up to be in 5th place. The field shuffling and changing places constantly.
And Riley takes Burke on Rothman's corner. And Dennis Riley now in 2nd place.
Well, there's Laverick still holding a good lead out of the 31 going through, but Laverick has probably got the biggest lead that he's held at any stage of this race so far. Whether or not he can hold that through until the finish. The distance, of course, is 10 laps, and Cashin rather in number 20. So now that he has that lead, he has to try and protect it. There's going to be any number of challenges before this race is over.
Laverick is back in, 4th place? He could well win the race at number 18 from there, the way they change around. He's had to go at the lead, I think. He's certainly been very close to it. And we have almost 6 laps still to go, so plenty of time for things to happen. Cashin goes through. He has Riley behind him, then Burke, then Laverick, and then in 55, Don Grieverson, who was on the 2nd row of the grid, has dropped back just a little bit in all the changing of places that has gone on here. But very, very close. The art, of course, of Formula V racing is to slipstream as much as possible. The cars are so equal in terms of power output with the little 1200cc VW motors that there's not much power advantage any one car can gain. They're all developing around the same, which is a fairly modest output. There's Laverick, has got by Burke, as you can see, and he will slipstream and he'll build up some speed as the cars behind him have done, and they're all getting out in that slingshot effect. They get the car in front to do all the hard work, parting the air for them, and then they get round to do the steam. Well, there he's gone. There's a wide swing there. It looked like Grieverson, who swung. Yes, it is. He was 3rd fastest in practice. Now he's going to be a long way back, cursing himself, I'm sure. Maybe in polite language, but the meaning is all the same. And he's dropped back, and he's got a big job now to try and catch up and rejoin that leading group, which is almost beyond him, I would say. In the meantime, Riley has closed right up on Cashin. A little bit of a gap from the first 2 cars. We now have Laverick and
Paul McDonald made a spurt through there on the that small mix-up.
We've lost Burke. He's dropped way back. Just can't spot his car among the leading group at the moment. But Riley, in the meantime, is now putting a very serious effort to get by with a little over 3 laps to go. There's 4 laps to go now at this point. Right, they have 4 to go. Riley well placed, the rest of the field pouring through. There's Burke, he's dropped back to about 5th place. So a couple of cars went by in one of those typical VW or Formula V passing manoeuvres, and he'll wait his turn and decide when is the right time to try and get by himself. No one likes to lead at the start necessarily. A car with some ailment there. 51 is Colin Moulds, just signalling which way cars should pass as he cruises back towards the pits. Doesn't want to be involved in too much of a kerfuffle. Riley trying to pass on the outside so he'd have the best line as they come in towards Honda. This will be worth watching. They're coming down now through Mazda, which is a very difficult corner for these. They are absolutely flat as the strap in 4th. And now he'll make a move on the inside if there's any opening there, and Cashin's not going to give it to him. And making a big move up is Paul McDonald. He's in 3rd place now in car 7. He's got a long way to go to bridge the gap, and one of them has skittled the post, by the way. It's only a fiberglass post, so no real damage, but they collected that. The crowd just behind Cashin, who's leading in car 20. And Riley, I would say, Mike, is very well placed there for a passing manoeuvre.
Yes, Cashin, though, has been pretty smooth throughout this race. Once again, Riley will switch to the inside for the run-up Bitchapave Hill. They were fairly even last time up, although Cashin appeared to have just a little bit more top-end speed at the top of the hill. We'll wait and see once again. But Riley is well positioned here. Left a little short of room there, almost a touch of wheels going over the top. That puts Cashin back in the box seat here, and Riley forced to tail him around this part of the track. But Riley has thrown quite a lot at Cashin. Cashin so far has managed to contain every challenge thrown his way and making sure that he makes the track as wide as possible to keep Riley behind him.
Mark Laverick has managed to get back to 3rd spot again after that brief manoeuvre by Paul McDonald.
Yeah, there's a great tussle going on for 1st and 3rd places, isn't there, Gary? Look at the crowd who are having a go at 3rd position. There they are. There are 5 cars, as you can see, and the man who was leading the race for a while, Frank Burke, is back in 7th place. He's at the end of that second group of 5, so that's how fortunes change very rapidly in Formula V racing.
There's the dice here for 3rd place between these 4 cars. Once again, they come onto the short shell straightaway, and this great dice says Riley is expected now to pull out, but he's left a little later this time, and we pick up the group here still dicing for 3rd place, and gee, are they close together. Almost 3 wide as they go over the top of Bitchapave Hill.
It's Laverick, McDonald and Benson, I can see there, just didn't pick up the tower.
McDonald's got the line and back in 3rd place again.
Yes, he's done well, Donald, and you can see that time Riley had a little excursion off the track, wheel into the dust up there, and Cashin once again finds him still in front, but about to be challenged once again, I would think, by Riley.